High Executor Thranis stood before the tactical hologram, his scaled hands clasped behind his back as he surveyed the pathetic blue world that dared to defy the Kaelarian Empire. For 3,000 years, his people had dominated this spiral arm of the galaxy, subjugating 847 worlds and bringing order to the chaos of primitive civilizations. Earth would be number 848. "Status report," he commanded, his voice carrying the authority of absolute power. Admiral Vexis materialized beside the display, her reptilian features twisted in what passed for contempt among their species. "The humans have rejected our terms again, High Executor. They claim their world is under something called protected statuses and demand we withdraw from their system immediately." Thranis hissed a sound that had preceded the extinction of 12 rebellious species. Protected by whom? Our intelligence networks have catalogued every significant military force in this galaxy. These humans possess no allies capable of challenging the Empire. The hologram displayed Earth's modest defensive installations, a few orbital stations, a small fleet of primitive vessels, and what appeared to be an outdated early warning network scattered throughout their solar system. By Kaelarian standards, it was laughably inadequate. Their technology appears to be approximately 500 years behind our current capabilities, Vexis reported. Fusion-based power systems, chemical propulsion, and kinetic weapons. They show no evidence of quantum manipulation or exotic matter utilization. Then why do they resist? Thranis demanded. In his experience, species this primitive typically surrendered after witnessing a single demonstration of imperial power. Unknown, High Executor. Their transmissions speak of Terra Protocol and reference something called the Compact. Our linguists believe these may be cultural or religious concepts rather than actual military doctrine. Thranis had crushed religious fanatics before. They died the same as everyone else when their worlds were glassed from orbit. Begin planetary bombardment. Target their major population centers first. Perhaps watching their cities burn will encourage more reasonable behavior. The Imperial fleet moved into position 200 dreadnoughts, each one capable of sterilizing a continent. As the first salvo of plasma torpedoes streaked toward Earth's surface, the human defensive grid activated. The torpedoes simply vanished. What happened? Thranis snarled as his weapons officers frantically checked their systems. Unknown energy interaction, High Executor. The projectiles appear to have been displaced. Our sensors cannot determine their current location. Thranis felt the first stirring of unease. Fire again. Full spread. The second volley met the same fate, disappearing the moment it touched Earth's defensive perimeter. But this time, something fired back. The IC-SE Dominion, a 3-kilometer dreadnought that had broken the siege of Kepler Prime, simply ceased to exist. No explosion, no debris field. One moment it was there. The next moment space was empty. Admiral Vexis to all ships came the panic transmission. The Dominion has been. We're detecting spatial distortion around the human installations. They're not using conventional weapons. More ships began vanishing. The mighty subjugator, veteran of 40 conquest campaigns. The fast cruiser Swift Death, pride of the Third Fleet. Each disappearance was instantaneous and absolute, leaving no trace that they had ever existed. Then the humans finally responded to Imperial hails. "This is Admiral Sarah Chen of the Terran Defense Coordinating Council," came the transmission. Her image appeared on the hologram, a small, unremarkable biped with pale skin and dark hair. "You have violated the Compact of Protected Worlds and initiated hostile action against a Tier 1 Guardian species. You will cease all military operations and withdraw beyond the heliopause immediately." Thranis laughed, a sound like breaking glass. "Threatening me, little mammal? You've destroyed perhaps a dozen of our ships through some clever trick, but we have thousands more. Your world will burn." Chen's expression didn't change. "You misunderstand the situation, High Executor. Earth isn't just another world. We are the species that created the compact. We are the ones who established the protected status protocols. And you just declared war on the galaxy's designated peacekeepers." "Impossible," Thranis hissed. "We know the history of this galaxy. The compact was created by the Eternal Assembly 50,000 years ago. These humans didn't even exist then." "Incorrect," Chen replied calmly. "Humanity has existed for far longer than your empire realizes. What you call the Eternal Assembly was our diplomatic corps. What you know as the Compacts was our gift to younger species, a framework for peaceful coexistence that we hoped would prevent exactly this situation." The tactical display suddenly lit up with new contacts. Not ships, something far worse. Space itself was folding, and through the dimensional rifts stepped structures that hurt to look at directly. They existed in too many dimensions simultaneously, their geometry an impossibility that made Thranis' eyes water. "You see, High Executor," Chen continued conversationally, "Earth isn't defended by a few orbital platforms. This entire solar system is one vast defensive installation. Every asteroid, every moon, every grain of cosmic dust has been converted into a component of our security grid. We've had 50,000 years to prepare it." The impossible structures began to move, and wherever they passed, Imperial ships simply stopped existing, not destroyed, deleted, edited out of reality with surgical precision. "The Kaelarian Empire has broken the compact," Chen announced, her voice now carrying harmonics that suggested she was speaking through quantum relay arrays across multiple star systems. "In accordance with Guardian Protocol 7, you are hereby designated a threat to galactic stability." Thranis watched in horror as his fleet disappeared ship by ship. The humans weren't just winning, they were demonstrating a level of technological superiority that rendered the Empire's proudest achievements obsolete. "Please," he found himself saying, the word foreign on his tongue. "Your empire controlled 847 worlds," Chen said quietly. "As of this moment, every single one of them has been liberated. Your fleets have been neutralized. Your leadership has been placed under quantum detention. The Kaelarian Empire, which took 3 millennia to build, has ceased to exist." The hologram flickered and died as Thranis' flagship began to phase out of normal space-time. "Remember this, High Executor," came Chen's final transmission. "Earth doesn't conquer. We don't occupy. We simply ensure that aggressive species learn better behavior. Consider this an education." As consciousness faded, Thranis realized that his empire hadn't just provoked Earth, they had awakened something that had been peacefully sleeping, content to let younger species believe they ruled the galaxy. The humans, it seemed, had always been the true power behind the compact. And they had just reminded the universe why that arrangement existed.